Eric, there's so much to talk about in the shadows of WrestleMania, and I just made the analogy or the comparison rather of your use of Master P in WCW versus him making an appearance in AEW. Well, perhaps WWE's taking a page out of your book. There's a report that's come out since you and I have been recording this morning that says that they're actually aiming towards a tag team match. There's been a pitch for John Cena and Travis Scott to work a tag team match together at some point during this year. That feels logical based on everything we've heard. It feels like we've heard Triple H on more than one occasion say that Travis Scott says this feels like his full-time job now. He loves it. He wants to do it. We know that Burt Kreischer's got the bug. We know that Bad Bunny has wrestled. We know that Logan Paul is doing phenomenally well. But once upon a time, man, when you had Dennis Rodman out there, people thought you were killing the business, brother. What do you make of this? And listen, I know I always go to the Dennis Rodman comparison, but we didn't have social media the way we do now in 1997 and 1998. If social media existed in 97 and 98, how much bigger a star would Dennis Rodman have been, Eric? I mean, it would have been unbelievable, right?
Yeah, because he was courting social media before there was social media.
Yes.
He was so outrageous, and he was doing it just for fun. He wasn't trying to get attention. Well, he was obviously trying to get attention, but not like we do today. It would have been monstrous. It would have been awesome. Fun to be a part of. It was already fun to be a part of. It would have taken it on a whole different level.
What do you make of this report that we may be looking at a tag match with Travis Scott and John Cena? I know there's some of our listeners who are going to say, boy, I can't believe they're butchering John Cena's last year. The idea that he probably had a real plan for how he wanted to spend his last year in wrestling. He's probably been thinking about this and planning this and looking forward to it. And then he shows up at the Elimination Chamber, and they've already got all this merch printed for all these tours and everything's approved. And The Rock says, well, let's just turn him heel. And now it's an about face. And now he's going to be tag teaming with a famous rap musician. And by the way, there's a guy in my office who I love to death. You know him very well, Steve Patty. He came to me on Monday and he says, is this guy a big deal? And I had to put it in perspective. Yes, Steve, I know this is going to be hard to hear. He's perhaps a bigger deal than WWE when it comes to social media. He has 15 million more followers on Instagram than WWE does as a whole. Like Travis Scott is a major influencer. There's no denying that. So I see the value in him tagging with John Cena, but I can't help but feel like if that happens, man, people are going to be critical of it. And I hope they keep that same energy they had when you were teaming Hogan with Dennis Rodman, or they're going to love it and claim that it's a genius move, yet still dunk on you teaming Hogan with Rodman. I don't get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, well, it does when you consider the audience. It sounds so, trite, but you just have to look at the source. Let's go back to the first question, is how do I feel about it? I mean, the timing right now, it's hard for me to go, that could be interesting, because we've seen Travis Scott twice thus far. Neither one of them moved the needle for me. Now, I'm obviously not a Trev. I know who he is. I certainly am aware of him, but I'm, not on my playlist, right? First of all, we don't know if that's even remotely true because it came from a wrestling website. So who knows? Could be somebody throwing out a hot take to try to get some action on their social media, which is 90% of the time the case. Or it could be, maybe it's true. If it's true, Travis Scott's got a lot of work to do. And I'm not saying that because of anything we've seen up to this point. I'm saying that because guys like Logan Paul and Bad Bunny set the bar, and it's a pretty high freaking bar. So I hope if Travis Scott said this feels like his full-time job, that he really means it, and he's cleared his schedule, because he's got two big names to follow that over-delivered by so much. I wouldn't want to be in Travis's shoes. But look, we know that WWE is really good at getting talent ready for this. We've seen it twice now. With Logan, we continue to see it. What does he have? 15 matches in his career, and all of them have been high-profile premium live event appearances. They're good at it if they've got a willing, coachable talent. So if Travis is willing and coachable and will dedicate the time, there's a backstory there. There's something there to work with, and hopefully it'll work out.
Man, well, look at you with a good guess. Logan Paul's actually had 19 matches, but that does include, the Royal Rumble a couple of times. So, yeah, if you talk about singles matches, 17, you were real damn close, Eric.
Here's the thing about Logan. Now, we didn't talk about this because we went right off on the main event so hard the other night. It's where we spent most of our time. Logan he still boggles my mind how good he is for only having had 19 matches or whatever the number is. It's just insane to be able to comprehend. But here's the challenge for Logan, I think, longer term, is we're used now to seeing Logan Paul come out and having a great match. It's kind of going back to expectations. Logan Paul has established very high expectations for what he does physically. And there's no doubt in my mind he'll continue to deliver on that aspect of it. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with his character. Does his character and his in-ring performance, does it plateau? Is it as good as it's going to get? Or are we going to see variations of the character so that we have growth, we have evolution, we have a journey? Because I don't know how much better he can get in the ring, to be honest with you. I mean, given his size, how much better can this guy get? Noticeably better or incrementally better? I argue that because he's so freaking good, he can only get incrementally better, which doesn't really land on the viewer quite as much. But if Logan Paul's character can evolve, that's a whole different story. So it'll be really interesting because right now it feels like I know exactly what to expect from a Logan Paul match. And it's good. It's great. But I'm going to need more. As a fan, I'm going to need to see him grow one way or the other. And if I'm correct and he's kind of not maxed out, everybody can always improve. But if he's not able to do something radical with his in-ring performance to make him feel fresh, obviously his character is the best route. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. Or are they just satisfied and going to keep him kind of at the level he is for the reasons they're using him, which is much like Travis Scott for his social media presence. That's how you grow the brand. That's how you get people who aren't watching your show to watch your show and to sample it. So it'll be fun to watch.
Double J, Jeff Jarrett, here to tell you a little bit about the nonstop savings happening over here at SaveWithConrad.com. Are high credit card balances holding you down on the card? If you're looking to give a guitar shot to your credit card debt or give your home the push it deserves with some upgrades and remodeling, you need to go to SaveWithConrad.com. That's right, SaveWithConrad.com. Conrad and his team are routinely helping my world listeners save $500, $600, $700, even $800 a month. Oh, did I mention you get to skip your next 2 house payments? Take a cue from The Last Outlaw, because if anybody knows how to get the bag, it's me. Strut on over to SaveWithConrad.com today and see how much money you can save for free. That's right, it's SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com.